Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Diary of a Trainee Psychological Wellbeing Practitioner. A trainee PWP, the diary, the journey, the experience. This is episode 3, which is week 3. We're going to be talking about week 3, and in week 3, it was an amazing week, to be honest. Getting to know the people, getting to know colleagues and classmates, getting to know our tutors. They've been absolutely amazing, or as one of our tutors would say, fab. This week was an interesting one. I remember Monday uni, we started with a very long lecture. Our lectures are literally from 10 to 5. Sometimes unfortunate if it finishes at 4:30, but it's long. We get like a 1 hour break, 1 hour lunch break. We get 2 breaks in between, sort of like 10-15 minutes short breaks. It's just long. It's long, just covering a series of lectures, and it's just it's exciting. Most of them are really interesting and intriguing, but at the same time, when we leave uni, we're just drained, especially when it's on a Friday. This one was interesting, and it was all about behavior change. Change. Why is change important? Why do we human beings want to change? Why do we want to change certain habits that we have in our lives? Personal lives, social lives, work lives, whatever. We have behaviors or habits we want to change. But how do we? Are we capable of changing? Do we have the opportunity to change? Do we have the time to change? Are we willing to commit ourselves? Are we willing to put in the effort? Are we willing to actually take those steps to change? Are we on our own in this journey when it comes to change? Do we have support? Do we have people around us who can support us, who can motivate us, who can give us that drive, who can give us that boost? How motivated are we to change? Do we really want to change habits, behaviors, thinking styles, attitudes, and so on and so forth? So what was interesting is we learned a model that was developed about 12 years ago by Professor Susan Michie. And I'll tell you something interesting is that she's actually in UCL. She's one of the professors there, and she's known to be one of the #1 experts worldwide when it comes to behavior change. And she developed something called the COM-B model, which is a model that focuses that behavior, changing behavior, when a human being wants to change behavior, we look at 3 different areas. Capabilities, are we capable of making that change? Opportunities, do we have the time to commit and to put in the effort? Can we make time to make those changes? Whatever the changes we want to make. And then the M, the final one, is the motivation. How motivated are we to make a change? How motivated am I? How motivated are you to make whatever change that we see that needs to be, adjusted and sort of like changed? So it was interesting looking at, so the whole idea of this behavior change is when we assess clients, right? Remind you that I prefer to use clients and patients, but anyway, when we assess clients as PWPs, we are assessing their change. And why we're learning this is because stage 1 is all about the triage. So assessing, that first assessment is triage. Then we go to a problem-focused assessment. That's the next one. We call it a PFA, the actual assessment. And this one is about 45 minutes. Here we're going more in depth, looking into using the COM-B model here as to why does a person want to change. A person now comes in, a client comes with a problem, or maybe more than one problem. And we now have this discussion about, why have you now come to seek support, therapy? Why have you come to seek mental health treatment? What is it that you want to change? What is it that you don't like that's going on? And what about it do you want to change? And then when we have those discussions about change and about the goals that they want to set, what is it? Like, how committed are you to making this change? How adamant are you? Do you have the time? Do you have the capability? What is stopping you? What are your barriers? And how motivated are you? Are you ready to make this change? We're assessing and looking into all of these areas. Honestly, I do hope I get a chance to meet her before the end of the year or before the end of the program. And because really, I've been interested in behavior change. And plus, she is a clinical and a health psychologist. And honestly, I'm really interested in health psychology personally, something I hope I can tread a path. That's the career sort of pathway that I want to look into probably later on after I qualify for this program. And I would really like to meet her to discuss areas. And plus, she's also into digital interventions, which is also something that I really find intriguing. I'm really interested in digital health, so I hope one day I can actually meet her. So when people seek psychological treatment, a lot of times they come and think that there's going to be this magic trick, this zap, that all of your problems are going to go away, whether it be through medication, whether it be through some talk or some words that I just want my situation to end. Behavior change is not just about behavior, but it's coupled with our mindset. It's also cognitive change, changing our thoughts, our thinking styles, our attitudes towards certain things. And this takes time, and it varies from individual to individual. It varies. Some people take longer time and some people take lesser time. But regardless, it does take a certain amount of time to see change, to see progression, to see improvement, to see enhancement. You're going to start going on a diet. You're going to find the best diet for you or the best nutritional program. And what happens is you're thinking to yourself that you could finish this in a week. That in a week you can lose this amount of kilos, this amount of pounds, this amount of fat, and you can put on this amount of muscle. You know very well that it's going to take time. And likewise, you want to lose weight. You want to get toned. You want to gain a certain level of muscle. You want to become fit. You want to become fit and healthy. You know very well that this is going to take time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. And likewise, when it comes to our physical health, our diet, our physical health, physical activity, our bodies internally, generally speaking, when we take our physical health, like physical activity, exercise, our diet, nutrition, we know that these things we want to change them, and they're going to take time. Likewise with our mental health, likewise with our emotional health, these things take time. And we learn. And remember, learning is growing. When you make mistakes in life, it's a learning curve. You grow from it. That's the whole point. Learn from it and grow. Learning equals to growing. So changing our behaviors, our thoughts and emotions and our mindset, all these things take time. It needs perseverance. And it requires, it requires specificity. What do you want to change specifically? When you're setting goals, you're using the SMART model. What is the first thing? Be specific. Your goal needs to be specific. Measurable, achievable, is it realistic, and a time bound. Everything has its time. Everything needs its time. So what is it that you want to change in your life? And what positive change do you want to see? How can you describe it? Or how would you describe the positive change that you want to make in your life? I'm just looking through my notes, okay, so I can go with you. And what changes do you want to see? Hopefully one webinar, maybe I can, I talk about webinars all the time, but I really hope that I can structure this and actually get them done. But I hope that, I can talk more about this, about health behavior change, mental behavior change and how we can deal with our emotional health, and also about certain changes that we can make so we can become healthier, live healthier lifestyles and build healthier mindsets. But this is a lot of what we do in the talking therapy service. So we look into these things. All right, I want to make sure that I get it to 10 minutes. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do the same thing. I'm going to have to make a part 2 out of this. So anyway, that was the main thing throughout that week. And, just had my first supervision literally on Tuesday. It was nice. We had a bit of a role play, our first assignment. And it's been mainly that on week 3, learning about behavior change.